me, where does this roller coaster reach a sea and stop the coasting? Used to be.
Hey YouTube, it's me Kristianna. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to whenindoubtpink. Okay, so we're doing a monthly roundup. The good, the bad, the ugly, okay? So if you're interested in my thoughts on all the things, okay, keep on watching. Okay, so we have a lot to get into, but first order of business is, what should I call these? I'm thinking to just go back to like the Thoughts and Lipgloss, because that was kind of something I was playing with a few months back. I'm saying a few months, that was probably like a year ago or something. Should I call it that? Should I call these like a monthly favorites, but it needs to incorporate the things that are not my favorites? I don't know. Let's think on that. But I'd like to do like a monthly recap at the end of every month. Yeah. Okay. So anywho, we have a lot to talk about, and I have a whole lot of notes. Okay, so mental health check-in first. I am struggling just a little bit with my mental health right now. I think we can probably get more into the details towards the end of this video, but I am definitely struggling, dealing with like some inner turmoil of some sorts, while also feeling like incredibly, I don't want to say blessed, because I don't regularly use that language, but something like that, I guess. That every day, like, I get to wake up in a place that feels really safe, that sits right in my spirit, you know what I'm saying? Because if you know, you know. I've lived in a couple of places now where from the moment I got there, I was like immediately feeling like, oh, this place isn't sitting right in my spirit, or I can't sleep here. Like there's something about this space that's making it hard to sleep, get a good night's rest. All kinds of things that I've experienced before. And I think baby too, like baby the cat, is that from the time we got here, we both like really just felt comfortable and safe. And that is like really the most you can ask for when moving into a new place, is to feel safe. And so I feel like really thankful and like grateful every day that I get to wake up in this really beautiful apartment that is all mine. And yeah. So, you know, I'm feeling a mix of things, but I'm healthy, I'm alive. And let's move on. Things that brought me joy in the month of June. So I know we've been having a discussion here on my channel about like work, and how it shouldn't be like your end all be all or whatever, but I do have moments within the work that I do. If you don't know, I am, I guess, just as a blanket, like a union workers' rights like girly. And I had some opportunities earlier in the month to interact with workers who are like in non-union workshops, or workshops. They work in non-union workplaces, and either have like a desire to have a union in their workplace, or a deep desire to go on strike in their workplace. And I had an opportunity to be a part of teaching those types of folks how to do that if that's what they're trying to be on. And there's something about being around newly like galvanized, newly motivated workers who really want to break into the movement and get something for themselves in their workplaces, that just really reconfirms that I am where I am supposed to be generally. I love being able to be somebody who like gets to teach people new things. Not that I have to be a teacher, you know, but when it's something you really care about or you really have an interest in, it makes it really cool to be able to share what you know. with other people, being able to share your personal stories, hardships, triumphs, worker debacles. Like, I've been through a lot of stuff, especially in my time as a labor organizer and as a worker just trying to organize my own workplace. And so it's really cool when I can be a part of the beginning of someone else's story, if that makes sense. Uncrustables. Do I have to say anything else? Okay, so a couple vlogs ago, you may have been there to watch me discover the greatness that is Uncrustables. Oh nah, this is good. Do they make these in crunchy? I'm a crunchy peanut butter girly, but this is good. If you don't know, they're like, it's like a PB&J in like this little pocket frozen thing, and you either wait for it to defrost, or I found out some people do, like my friend Byron was saying that he puts them in the air fryer for them to defrost, and I think that's really cool, and I'm gonna try that next time. But I ended up putting some in the toaster. They're delicious, they're game-changing, and they've changed me, okay? Definitely a foodie highlight for the month. That was really silly, but I had to throw it in there because it did bring me joy. This was a really tough month, okay? Speaking of tough, another thing that like really brought me joy this month was finally finding like a work buddy. I think that we are definitely trauma bonding at this time, but I actually feel like her and I, we have potential to be able to be friends outside of this context, the context of like working together. And we both knew that already, because I think I said this already, but when I first met her, something about her energy felt familiar to me, and I couldn't put my finger on it, still can't. And I was like, you know, Kate, I think that you and I know each other. And she's like, are you sure? She's like, what? Like, yeah, I think we know each other, but I'm not sure how. And she was like, oh, that's so weird. Like, cause I've been like out of the state for a couple of years, blah, 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 blah. And then there was a point in which I needed to exchange numbers with folks in my office. And when we did that, she realized that my phone number was already in her phone. That her number was already in my phone. We friends, girl. We both cannot remember how we met, but you know, I really rock with her heavy. She's really, really like a smart person, and not saying like you have to be smart to be my friend. It's just I really, really like being around people who have a different skill set than like just have a different skill set, period. And she's a whole lot to offer, and I've already kind of learned a lot of stuff from her, just sitting around her, listening to her tell stories about the work that she's doing that's really different from the work I'm doing. I don't know, it's cool. It's real cool. We've also been hitting up the bar, okay, and so that's been real fun too. Keeping things positive, let's talk about music. Okay, so Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice, Barbie World, okay? I already knew I was going, even if the song sounded like horseshit, I was gonna love it, okay? I'm, you know, a little bit of a Barb, a little bit of a Barb. I don't like to claim it because Nicki be doing stuff sometimes, you know, but I really love Nicki Minaj. Okay, but the track actually really ended up being really good. Like, I actually really love the song. I did feel a little bit weird though that Ice Spice is there. If you don't know, like, Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice did a collabo for the Barbie movie, Barbie World. I don't know. Okay, so like, I just feel like I really like Ice Spice, don't get me wrong. I really, really, really like Ice Spice. I feel like I'm like in love with her the same way I was with Megan Thee Stallion at first. But also it's like, where's Megan Thee Stallion right now? Like, she's kind of proving what some people thought was gonna be like, she'd be around and then she'd be gone. Ice Spice, okay, so I know that she like signed to Nicki Minaj's like label, which was a good look for Nicki Minaj to hurry up and snatch her before somebody else does. But I just feel like after all these years in the game, Nicki Minaj doing a song for the Barbie movie makes a lot of sense, right? But it felt like that should have been something that she did on her own, so that it could like live in her legacy, like in her like it's gonna be a part of her legacy regardless. I just feel like you just never know with Nicki who's gonna be cool with her today, who's gonna be stabbing her in the back tomorrow, because she's done a lot of collabos with people who she's not in community with anymore. Even though, like I said, she signed Ice Spice, so I guess that means they're gonna be around each other for a while. I don't know, I just feel like something of this level, the Barbie movie, should have been something that she did by herself. But the song is really great. Like, I don't actually have a problem with Ice Spice, like her verse or anything like that. I feel like this eyebrow is doing a little bit too much at the art. Let's try to smooth that out so without taking my whole arch out. I think that's a little bit better. Okay, anyway. Also for the alternative girlies, or the girlies who like to listen to different kinds of music, Bombay Bicycle Club is another band I really like, and I've never been somebody who liked to listen to people sing live, or like, I like to go to concerts, but I've never been somebody who would listen to an album of someone doing something live, like of them performing live, if that makes sense. But Bombay Bicycle Club did a live concert album of their album I Had the Blues But I Shook Them Loose. It's always like this, like this. But I've been listening to the live album the last like week or so, and it's just been nice. Okay, in my shows and movies category, I don't really have okay, so we're gonna flow a little bit, because I think this section and my next section kind of like blend together a little bit, so we're gonna be a little bit fluid with this. But just like entertainment wise, generally, like I've been trying to get through like the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia podcast, or It's Always Sunny podcast based on the show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. If you know the show, you know the show. It's definitely like not everybody's jam, but I really love the show. That is my shit. And I only discovered not that long ago that they had a podcast where they go back over the different episodes and just, you know, discuss how the episodes came to be, who wrote what, directed what, or, you know, just they're reminiscing over the old times when they were younger. And it's really good because like they have like, I think 15 seasons or something, and I've seen them all, every episode. But I like watching the podcast on YouTube because it just feels like you're getting more, like you're getting more, it feels like you're getting a, I don't know, I just like, I'm enjoying myself is what I should just say and leave it there. They are coming to Philly in September, and I really want to get a ticket. They're gonna do a live version of their podcast. I really want to get a ticket. I deserve it. But I gotta check my finances because I am really being tight on my spending right now because of a lot of reasons, but I'm really taking this opportunity to get some debt down before I move forward in other ways. Anyway, been really enjoying the podcast and just like learning behind the scenes stuff that I never realized, didn't see, didn't notice. never knew. Speaking of like watching stuff on YouTube, I had put out a call the other day to y'all and y'all left me hanging. I was asking what vloggers do you watch over 30, like over 30 years old? Because I have been so thirsty to watch content from people who are in my age range. Black women too, who are in my age range. I think the only one I have is like Janae. Yeah, she like does like home, like interior design stuff, but also she's been vlogging here and there about like her struggles in life and whatever, which is cool. And I've always watched Naturally Sunny. I didn't realize she was over 30. Like I don't tap into her like real heavy because she is more of like a luxury, no, she's not like luxury, but like she gives a certain kind of aesthetic that is not really my people. And so like Janae, I want to say her name is Janae. She gives. I watch politics and fashion. She's definitely older. Oh, and then other Janae, which was her thing? Not Rich Lux, oh God. Lux something. She's another fashion girly. I said Rich Lux, oh my God. Oh my God. Yikes. Yikes on bikes. I say that to say I really just want to watch people who are older. Like I saw this video from this woman who was like in her 50s the other day, and her video was like trying to encourage other women in their 50s and 60s to become influencers. And I totally agree, because there's room for you here. Like there are people in their 50s and 60s who are watching YouTube. People in their 30s who are watching YouTube. So it's not like, oh, you're too old to be here. Like if people who are watching you are sometimes older than you, whatever, it'd be cool like if they had people to watch who were in their age range too. I just wish I had more people that were like relatable in the stage of life, if that makes sense. Because I do watch a lot of folks who are younger than me. Some of them are like in college, some of them are post-grad or whatever, but they're still like just in a totally different phase of life than me. And I don't know, I'm like, I know people gotta be out there somewhere. Maybe I'm not typing in the right thing. But also I feel like that gives me motivation to stick around, even when things get tough or hard, or like I get burnt out or whatever it is. Just knowing that I'm here for people who are looking for women who are over 30. Although I know people say a lot of times I read as being a younger person because of my interests or how I dress or how I put myself together or whatever. But that's them. That, you know, it doesn't beat the fact that I'm 31 years old. I'm also not really interested in watching mommy bloggers or vloggers at this time. I just find that kind of content to be really triggering. Okay, so what else? Also, I've been watching Audrey at Home on YouTube a lot. I really like when she talks about her work, like she tells her like work tea, because she's like a post.
Hello, it's editing me. When I went to go find their Audra, when I went to go find their page, I realized that their pronouns are they, them. So apologies for misgendering them during this little segment.
Store worker, she works at USPS, and she be telling the stories. And I don't know why, it's crazy, like, cause she be giving names, and I don't know if she's making up the names or the names of the actual people that she worked with or what, but I just be all in her tea. I really like it. But also I just really like Audrey at Home. I think she actually changed her username recently, but you know, they're around. Folks are around. Now some of the pop culture chatter, okay? The ukulele lady and all of that jazz, which is crazy because some of you guys know when I used to do drama videos, or like I was trying to see if that would be a thing that I would be interested in doing long term, and I started making drama videos. I actually really regret doing that, even though that is how some of you have like found me. I'm embarrassed that I ever took part in that. But anywho, I used to watch Adam, what is his, McIntyre, Adam McIntyre on YouTube, because he used to talk about Trisha Paytas a lot. I remember when he first like made his video about Colleen and all of the things that had happened to him and took place with him. If you don't know, go look it up. I actually would recommend you watching Swoop talk about it. If you don't know Swoop, she's got the blue hair and she gets like really into the details of things and makes like understanding internet drama more digestible. I really like Swoop. And so because at first I was like trying to avoid getting like, not getting involved, but like I was hearing a lot of stuff going on, but it felt like it was too late to catch up to what was happening, and it was really hard to piece together. And then Swoop started making videos about the situation, and I was thankful because I felt left out, because I was like, what the hell is going on? Because I thought we already tackled and addressed this whole situation, because a couple years ago Adam McIntyre had already said that he had gone through these things with this person, but I guess it didn't catch fire until now. Anywho, I do think it's really interesting the way that Colleen is avoiding the kind of jail time that would have occurred if she were a man. Watching this type of double standard is really weird to see. She is disgusting, because it's like, yo, she was in her 30s, like texting with minors. It's a lot, but it's definitely gross. Like, I couldn't even imagine. Like, I don't even like dating men who are like in my age bracket, like because I feel like y'all are not mature enough to be talking to me. So and like, even though she wasn't trying to be romantic with them, I think the point is still the point. Nasty. I also watched Observe talk about her and watch her ukulele video. And what I got out of his content is that she's experiencing a lot of self-pity, and I just think that is so weird. The cognitive dissonance that you could do this to people, alter people's lives, and then like feel bad that you're getting called out for it now. I also watched Adam do a reaction to Trisha Paytas's video, and he kept pointing out the thing that I was kind of like, what the hell? Because like, she just kept saying over and over again, Trisha kept saying over and over again that she didn't know about this, she didn't know Colleen was like that and this and that. But Adam had been making videos about this for years, one, but also that at some point, because he talks about Trisha too, at some point she like blocked him on social media, and so there really was no avenue or venue for him to be able to snitch or tell or be like, hey, like this is not somebody you want to be in community with, etc. But also, it's like, you blocked him, so you know who he is. And so it's like weird too that she like, even her video making a statement, but also she was like trying to apologize to Adam. And I just felt like that was so weird, because like, why not acknowledge him? Like, why not call him by name and acknowledge him? Okay, and maybe I'm just like feeling personally a certain kind of way because I sat in a meeting recently in which someone kept referring to me as she and her and she and her and she and her and refused to use my name. So maybe I'm feeling a little bit sensitive, but moving forward. Affirmative action. I am still learning and unpacking and doing a lot of research, because I've heard a lot of different things, but I know about maybe 2 years ago actually, I watched a documentary that feels like it was leading up to this moment in time now. I want to say it was on Vice, but they were talking about how folks within the Asian community were feeling slighted because they like are the ones who are bringing in really high test scores when they're in high school and stuff like that, but then they're not like getting admissions all like that, and so there's a part of there's a fraction of that community that feels like they're getting slighted by not being able to get the admissions that match the fact that they be kicking ass at school. But I've also been seeing stuff more recently too, saying that like really the folks who feel like that is like a small number, and but that they're like a part of some kind of like radicalized group that's led by a white man. And I don't know, I'm still like unpacking and learning a lot of that stuff, but it'll be really interesting to see what happens in the next couple of years as a result of this, especially at the more like Ivy League institutions who are now also being sued for legacy admissions. Because honestly, I think the legacy part of it will just be done quietly now. Because how do you monitor that from the outside? And how do you, like, do you automatically get disqualified now if your like family always went to this school? Like, how are you gonna monitor that? They not though, because money rules everything around us. I was on TikTok also and saw someone posted almost like Clarence Thomas's villain origin story. I watched the one clip, and basically he was one of those people who were like, I wasn't black enough, I wasn't, you know, he wasn't white, but like basically people felt like he only got into the school that he was in because of affirmative action, not that he was actually smart and blah blah blah. And so like now he's like super against affirmative action, and because people always thought that he wasn't there for his merit and blah 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 blah. Who cares, actually? Like, my cousin and I were talking a little bit about this, and maybe it's because I don't have a college degree. My cousin does, and she talked about how she was in a lot of spaces where people kind of like had thoughts and questions as to why she was there. And even my sister, you know, not to say too much, but she goes to an Ivy League school too, my baby sister. And you know, she also has like experienced challenges, I'll say, being around tons and tons of non-black folks when she grew up around mostly black folks, which was a different upbringing than me, because I grew up around white folks, and then as an adult we moved to the hood. But anywho, and I feel like there's more on this side. I hear what they saying, okay, about wanting people to know that they're there because they deserve to be there and that their merit and like blah 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 or whatever. But like, I just feel like as long as you handle your business, it shouldn't matter what people think. But I know that's like easier to say from outside the club, which is why I'm not really like pressing it. But I really do want to find that documentary about Clarence Thomas though, and watch the rest of it at some point, because it was really interesting watching his villain origin story. It's really messed up though. It's like, I'm still kind of simmering over it and like what it means and how things will look moving forward. Will the small group of like Asian folks who really pushed for this, will they see the results that they want? Because like, you know, like literally I think the only way you really get away from this type of discrimination is like by submitting applications without your name, because names mean things also. Like, I don't know, let me know what you think about this. Actually, let's like talk about this some more. So on to lighter topics. I've been watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta since the season started. I'm trying to figure out if I really want to wear these pants. I ironed them last night to be able to wear today, but I've never worn them. I think I like it though. I'm gonna take a little look in the mirror. Yeah, these are like kind of flowy and nice. So I've been watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I'm kind of getting ready to stop watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm not feeling it this season. Can I say that? I don't know if any of you are actually watching it this season, but it's just not giving. It's not giving. And honestly, it feels like really stressful to watch. Like, Marlo has a peach, and I think that she is like feeling obligated to give us something to watch, but what she given ain't really giving. And just makes, I don't know, it just makes the show feel really hard to keep coming back to. Like, the level of drama that's happening is really hard to stay, I don't know, to want to like stick around with, to want to watch play out. Honestly, I feel like Candy's time on the show is past due, been due, because literally her whole energy on the show is like she's like above everybody. She's too good to shoot a scene with people. Everybody's like spending all this time catering to her all the time. I never was a Candy stan. I should probably start there, but But also it's just like, if you are so disinterested in interacting with the other girls, why don't you just leave? Maybe they could bring back Phaedra and her messy self, even though she's like moved on to another show. I saw a thing on TikTok, actually, Phaedra setting her children up to like really have that generational wealth, which is pretty cool. Candy needs to go. I still really like Kenya, but I don't really love the way people are treating Marlo on the show. And like, Marlo's not a perfect person. She's got a lot of stuff with her, but there's something about the way that the ladies like were kind of attacking her in the last episode that I watched before I stopped watching that made me want to stop watching. She's very, very dramatic and over the top and all this stuff, but it's like crazy because the second one little thing happened, she became a trick, a hoe, like it was just crazy, like the way that the ladies spoke about her, even when some of them weren't in direct conflict with her at the time. Like they just be holding her past, waiting for her to do something so that they can bring it up, and I just don't like that. I just don't like it. But also, like I said, this show is just getting generally harder and harder to watch. And now I'm using the camera as a mirror. I probably shouldn't, but I am. I'm trying to figure out how I want to work this top, which might just be like this. Yeah, I think this is the look. I washed my wig last night and let it air dry. And I was thinking I would have to run something hot through it this morning, but maybe not actually, because it looks pretty good without like a flat iron or blow dryer. But I do have my blow dryer out already, just in case. Okay, so now for the tea on me. Yikes. Okay, so I think I've been saying this in little tiny doses lately. If you missed it, I started a new job about a month and a half ago, and I hate it. I don't really hate the job or like what I'm doing. I am experiencing I'm experiencing like bad workplace culture, to say the least. I've already talked to the necessary folks to warn that I'm probably going to leave this job because I can't exist like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, the money's really good. It's more money than I've ever made before, but it's killing me to be there. It's killing me spiritually, like energetically. You know what I mean? It's not okay. Like, I'm literally at a point where I'm like crying in my office. Like, it's not okay. People there, like, they all like hate each other, and sooner than later, some of them hate me now. And I haven't even done anything. People are just miserable and taking it out on one another. And I just can't be in an environment like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to like figure out what my moves are, what moves are available to me. And I have talked to the gatekeepers of my old job to see if that is an option. I don't know yet, because although I left on really, really good terms and stuff like that, I literally just left. You know what I mean? And so there is a sting about being like, JK guys, like, let me back, you know? So who knows if that's going to be an avenue for me, or if I have to go back to freelancing until I find something else that I like, which is what it's looking like. Not because of like my union not taking me back, but because of the urgency in which I want to leave. Like, it almost feels like an emergency for me to get out of there. Like I said, it's really, really tough for me because I'm making a nice little penny after like struggling for so long. But when it ain't for you, it ain't for you. But I'm trying my hardest to like crawl through every week to get to the end of the week, and that is a really shitty place to be. It's making it hard for me to show up in other areas of my life as well. Literally, I was just home for a 5-day weekend. You know, I'm going back to work today. They're 5 days off. Like, I got some sewing done because I do have a show on Saturday, but like I didn't really do much of anything else. I literally laid in the bed like and played The Sims to get away from this shitty world. Is this too much for work? But yeah, you know, I'm always really honest with you guys, and I'm really struggling. But one thing I'm not is stuck. Period. I'm always gonna figure out what I got to figure out or make a way out of no way. And I know some people stay at places for years and years, like in situations that make them miserable, but that just can't be me. I've been there, done that, stayed places too long, longer than I should have or whatever, feeling like I didn't have other options or, you know, avenues. This ain't that. Regardless, I'm gonna do what's good for me. Also, I got back on the apps recently. And probably I'm gonna get right back off the apps. They're just, the pickings are so cruddy, oh my goodness, and just makes me not want to engage, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm definitely someone who has to like push myself to engage with folks on a romantic level, or you know, whatever that means, because I'm just naturally disinterested. I am what they call like a gray asexual person, which really just means that it takes me a really long time. Like, and I can like acknowledge like somebody who's attractive. Like, I personally love aesthetics, things that are pretty, attractive, or whatever. I can acknowledge a decent looking man, you know, because I date men or women, but like I date men. I can do that. But the part where it's like, oh, I should get with them or actually get with them, that part of things is always kind of far off in my mind. Even when I'm thinking somebody's cute or attractive, I'm not usually thinking about like a bang bang chicken wang or nothing like that. So it makes it a little bit harder for me because I'm like already really picky. But also everybody's ugly, so there's that too. Anywho, how much time I got? Oh, I got a lot of time. I made some strawberry pancakes today because I deserve nice things. Yeah, I'm not gonna put no heat through this. This looks fine. Whew. I boiled it. I washed it and then boiled it last night. Push my braids back though. She cute. Anyway, this is an open forum. I want to hear your thoughts on any of the things or all the things. Good, bad, or indifferent. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.